Welcome to another Parasha and mental health reflection for the Parasha of Tissa. The golden calf is one of those narratives we all grow up learning. But is it so simple? When we're kids, we maybe colour in a picture of a golden cow and we somehow get taught that they thought it was God. Well, it's not entirely sure that that's what they thought. Two possible understandings of what they were trying to achieve. Either they were replacing God and this was just they just broke down. They were monotheistic one day and then they were back into pagan idolatry the next. Or they needed something physical, something to look at that would help them and allow them to focus their minds on what they were trying to achieve. But let's go back a stage. How did it all go wrong? We live in a time where everything happens so quickly. We are bombarded with adverts trying to sell us phones that work better, quicker speeds, internet connections, ovens that cook in a fraction of the time, washing machines that wash the clothes before you even put them in, and everything's fast. And because everything happens so quickly, we're growing up with the sensation that we want everything to happen immediately. We're not at peace anymore. We're not calm. We have no patience. No, that's not a modern phenomenon. Do you remember the scene in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory? Veronica Salt wants the golden egg, the goose that laid the golden egg, and she wants it now, and she goes around that room screaming and shouting, "Daddy, I want it now!" And her lack of patience ends up destroying her, and she falls through the chute because she's a bad egg. Patience. We need to learn to live in the moment. Rashi tells us famously at the beginning of this golden calf episode, the Jewish people got impatient. They did a calculation. Moshe told them, "I'll be back." And he took a little bit longer, or so they thought. And they wanted him now. And because he didn't come now, then it must all be over. They couldn't cope with a few extra hours. They couldn't cope. Now, they erroneously thought that maybe he had died on Mount Sinai. He'd been gone for ages and there was no obvious signs of life. But the root of what the rabbis are suggesting in their interpretation is that patience leads to chaos. Lack of patience leads to chaos. When we want everything to happen immediately, when we don't have the ability to stop and be calm, that negative moment ends up corrupting everything that follows. Think about the times in life where you've wanted something and perhaps gone about achieving it in the wrong way and realized had you only waited, it would have been better. So this week, let's promise ourselves, because again, everything has to start with ourselves. Let's promise ourselves to find some balance, some equilibrium, just to be calm. Take in the moment. If there are things you want to achieve and you're desperate to achieve them, one step at a time is a more sensible way of achieving them than trying to get there right now. Be calm. Have a good Shabbos.